King's Field is the reason we have the likes of any Souls game. It was released in 1994 for the original PlayStation as a launch title. Fun fact, nearly 26 years later, the Demon Souls remake, its spiritual successor, was released for the PlayStation 5 as a launch title. Comparing them leads to some jaw-dropping finds, but even if you aren't entertained, From Software done did it again. Hanging out in a corrupted 5-floor graveyard with monsters, demons, traps, defeated army men, and catchy music at times is tense. That slow walk speed, it makes every corner feel dangerous, and it gives PlayStation the time to secretly load the next room. It works wonders for fighting too. You have to learn attack windows and commit to them no matter how fast you move, until you can one-shot drive them.
Damn!
Outside of battles, secret walls, bottomless pits, nothing important, and etc. are all action button spam worthy. There are other times you don't get that luxury. Don't get me wrong, having to play a harp to make a bridge show up from nowhere with the only clue being it can open up new paths is cryptic. The guy that gives it to you is sitting on ass the entire game for Solaire's sake. Experimentation is key, so cherish those save points and equip a crescent axe as soon as you find it, because different damage types break and tickle different enemy types. Speaking of NPCs, talking to friendlies will save you some time and energy. If you want that healing spell, the key that opens up a solid quarter of the game's shortcuts, or the chance to meet a fairy and get the Moonlight Sword, then that's your prerogative. Funny story, I missed everything I mentioned earlier and made it to the end of the game with only magic to save me. It wasn't until I looked at a map someone else made, link in the description, that I got to experience those highlights. This whole game really plays with the concept of missing out on opportunities, like a lot of games back in its day. Don't sell something you only have one of unless you know you won't miss it because all sales are final. Does that sound familiar? It should if you've made that mistake in a Soulsborne game. There are plenty of other things you can see in later games, speaking of which. The Flamberge minus blood loss.
Lost fireballs!
Skeletons, a dragon, golems, even ghosts. Lightning being holy magic, similar to lightning scaling with Fate in later releases. Lower stats leading to lower damage, and quote-unquote cheesy tactics not considered cheating. The Almighty Manual encourages such actions, like opening a chest and running away from that powerful enemy guarding it, because your survival is what matters. You hear that, Elden Ring players? It's about survival! Use those summons! Use them all! If you keep these tidbits in mind, I reckon you'll be done in about 12 hours or less. Bonus points for using the teleporters you find to travel back and forth between floors a lot more quickly than walking. No bonfires here. Backtracking is necessary to open all those chests after all. This is a theme that stays consistent throughout From Software's hack and slash RPGs, just less so after Dark Souls. So, are you afraid of effort? If the answer is yes, then King's Field is your worst nightmare. Fencing your opponents is a learning experience, especially with the movement speed. This means using magic and weaponry one after the other to stagger foes and strike with maximum power without biting the dust. Outside of combat, there's plenty to miss if you forget, so you might have to draw, print, or look up a map to note your locations of interest. Still better than Sekiro's map if you ask me.
How do I get anywhere?
That might seem like a nuisance, but this actually makes finding treasure all the more satisfying. I mean, you had to work for that chest. Goods are scarce and shopkeepers act like gold grows on trees. You deserve that item. This bit incentivizes the 90 secret wall strafing check more than visible away from the controller. So what separates the Elder Scrolls, Ultima, and Baldur's Gate from King's Field? Their ease of playing, that's what. Most dungeon crawling RPGs are a little too involved for a casual player to pick up. One example, push the attack button. What happened? You attack. This was too much to ask for this genre more often than not back then. Even the stats you have are very, very simple. Want to go up? Wear different stuff. Not enough? Fight, then eventually level up. No souls, runes, nor blood echoes to worry about. King's Field made patience a theme with astonishing results, shaping future titles to come and eventually take the world by storm, only changing what requires said trait. One needs a lot of talent to pull this off, which is why this game is unmistakably B-class. This is a good game. Borderline great, but that doesn't mean the look, speed, combat, story, and cryptic nature couldn't have been done better, as proven by later releases on the same hardware, years later. Should you go back and play it? You're in a dungeon crawling and have a few days to kill? Sure. Otherwise, there's no shame in being thankful for the magic that you can still see in today's games. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe. I can't believe I said that. I promised myself I wouldn't say that, and I did it anyway.